this first part of the review with transformations, remember, whatever is inside the parentheses is plus for moving it left, minus for moving it right, and then squared. On the outside, plus for moving something up, minus for moving it down. And then that number in front, if there's a number out here, if it's bigger than 1, so I'm going to actually label it as A. So if A is greater than 1, the graph gets skinnier. If A is less than 1 but bigger than 0, the graph gets wider. And if it is negative, that means we have a reflection over the x-axis. So remember, those are all the pieces of what you're looking for. The very first one that's given here, the only thing we have is this -9 out back. So that means our graph is going to move down 9. On the next one, we have 2 pieces. So the +2 out back means we're going to move up 2. But the 3 in front means our graph is going to be skinnier by 3. Okay. On the next one, we have this -2 on the inside, which means we're going to move right 2. On the next one, we have the +1 out back, which means up 1. But then we also have this minus in the very front, which means we are reflecting over the x-axis. Our next one, we have this +3 on the inside, so we go left 3. But this 1/5 on the outside means our graph is wider by 1/5. It's going to be a really, really wide graph. The next one, we actually have 3 things going on. The +6 on the inside means we're going to go left 6. -2 on the outside means down 2. And then this 4 on the outside means our graph is going to be skinnier by 4. All right, last one. -7 on the inside is going to be right 7. +17 on the outside means up 17. And this negative out front means we're going to reflect over the x-axis. Hopefully this is a good memory jog for you. If you don't have that thing at the top written down, I'm going to highly suggest you write it down and have it ready for your quiz. Looking at these next problems, the very first thing, the transformation is just like what we were just doing. So we have this +3 in the back, so that is going to mean it's going to move up 3. So our normal vertex is at 0, 0. So if all your graph does is move up 3, your vertex is at 0, 3. Remember, the axis of symmetry is always the x value of your vertex. And this is going to open up. So it is going to have a minimum. And it opens up because the number in front of x squared is positive. So then our graph is going to look something like this. Our vertex here at 0, 3. It's not getting any wider or skinnier, so you can go over 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, right 2, up 4, left 2, up 4. And that's about all you're going to be able to fit on this graph. And when you do graph these, you do want to make sure that those dots are kind of easy to see, just so that I can kind of tell where you're drawing them. All right, for the next one, we have this -2 on the inside, which means we're going to go right 2. And then we have -5 on the outside, so we're going to go down 5. So my vertex is going to be 2, -5, because we start at 0, 0, we went right 2 and down 5. Our axis of symmetry is at x equals 2, because it is always that x value of the vertex. Still opening up because the number in front of the parentheses is positive, so it is still a minimum. So then we need to graph this. So I'm going to go over to 2, -5. It did not change in width, so I can go over 1, up 1, left 1, up 1. If you're not understanding where I'm getting these points, you remember you can always put this in your calculator, type it into y equals, and get your points from the table. That's always a possibility. So remember, every parabola is a mirror, so you can get those 9. So the next point won't fit. Okay. So you can always, once you get one side, get the other side pretty easy. So there is my graph. All right. Last one has a lot going on here. So I'm going to move left 1. I'm going to move, let me underline that one in blue. I'm going to move up 9. I am going to get skinnier by 2. And I'm also going to reflect over the x-axis. I'm going to write that, try to fit that in here. Reflect over x-axis. All right, so my vertex isn't affected any by the getting skinnier or reflecting. The vertex is going to be -1, 9, because I moved left 1 and down 9. My axis of symmetry, yet again, not affected, so it's x equals -1. But because this opens down, because we reflected it down, it does have a maximum. All right, this is where it's going to be affected for all these things that we did. So, very first thing you want to do is go ahead and draw on your vertex at -1, +9. And then we want to look at, so it reflected, so it opens down, but it got skinnier by 2. That means your y values are all timesing by 2. So instead of over 1 up 1 or over 1 down 1, it's going to be over 1 down 2. Instead of over 2 down 4, it's going to be over 2 down 8. So this graph gets very, very steep, very, very quick. I can't fit any more on there because the next one will be 36. So, or not 30, 18. Oh, maybe we can. Because it's normally over 3 down 9. So 9 times 2, yeah, 18. So you should be able to do that. Oh, that one dot is too far out to the side. I was wondering why that graph was looking a little funky. This one should go here. They do fit right here. My graph is pretty, not pretty. So it is an opening down parabola, but you see it's skinnier than the other ones we have drawn. I think I did the same thing over here. I accidentally skipped the line. It's tough to see these sometimes on these little tiny grids. These will be pre-graphed for you on the thing. You won't have to actually graph them very much. Fix this one on the previous one. Sorry about that. Count it over just 1 too far. Okay, there we go. Now it's more like a parabola. Here, this is just like what we did in class on Monday. It's asking you to fill in the number that will complete the square and then also write it in vertex form. So we divide this by 2 and we get x minus 3 all squared. That's my vertex form. Then we need to take -3 and square it and get 9 as our number in our blank. Same thing for the next one. We're going to divide by 2. So we get x plus 6 as my vertex form. 6 squared is 36. Divide by 2, we get 11. X plus 11 squared, 11 or plus 11 and 11 squared is 121. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this with more practice. Hopefully you tried these before watching this video. Same direction on these. So, but we have a number in front. So remember, just like we did in class on Tuesday, you have to take it out first. Leave that blank. So then we can divide by 2 and get x plus 1 squared. Don't forget to bring down your 2 for your vertex form. 1 squared. We take this 1 and square it. We get 1. Then we have to end up distributing this back out and get 2 for what goes in that blank. And my vertex form is 2x plus 1 squared. All right, the very next one, we need to take that 3, go ahead and take it out. Oh, whoops. Okay, and we're going to divide by 2. So we get x minus 4 squared. Don't forget to bring down your 3. Negative 4 squared is 16. And last part, 3 times 16 is 48. So my vertex form is 3 times x minus 4 squared. All right, we're going to do the last one on this row. We got to divide 100 by 2. We get x plus 50 squared, and 50 squared is going to be 2,500. Hopefully this is making sense to you, and you see when we have to take that number out and when we don't. All right, let's go on to the next few. Looking at these, they all have a number we need to take out. So remember, you divide it by each of those numbers. Then we divide that middle term by 2. Don't forget to bring down the number on the outside. So 3 squared is 9. That's what goes in our first blank. Then we need to distribute that 5 back out to get the 45 that goes in the blank up top for our standard form. And our vertex form is in the parentheses at the bottom. All right, looking at the next one, we need to take out that common term of 2. So then we need to divide by 60, or divide 16 by 2. So we get x plus 8 squared. Don't forget to bring the 2 down. 8 squared is 64. 2 times 64 is 128. So my vertex, 2x plus 8 all squared. All right, last one, and this one is a little bit tricky. It does have a common term, and that term is going to be the negative that's in front. Don't let it fool you. Don't let it get you off track. So we take that negative out. So then we still do the same thing. You still divide by 2. So it's x plus 1 squared. And don't forget to bring down that negative from the front. 1 squared is 1. And then we end up distributing this negative to it. So we get negative 1 here. And my vertex form is negative x plus 1 all squared. So just because it's a negative 1 doesn't mean we treat it any different. We take it out just like we do all the other numbers in front of x squared. All right, this last section here, remember it is asking us for the coefficients in front of our pieces. So a is always the number in front of x squared. So a in this very first one is 6. B is negative 15. Remember the signs have to come with it. And C is 3. On the next one, A is negative 14. B is 1, because just because there's not a number there, it's actually still there. It's just a 1 that's not written. And we don't have anything for C, so we write 0. For this last one, you are going to have to multiply this out to be able to see what you have here. So you can either use the box or the FOIL method, whichever you prefer. I don't really care. You just need to multiply this out before you can get these answers. So then it ends up being 2x squared minus 15x minus 27. So A is going to be 2, B is negative 15, and C is negative 27. It's really hard to get those without multiplying that out. So go ahead and FOIL it, box, whatever you want to do to get that done to fill in your A, B, and C. All right, guys, I hope you're ready for your quiz. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I can jump on office hours, but I don't have them scheduled for tomorrow. Have a good day.